The Dust Bowl was on this day, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is April 12th, 2023. It is the 102nd day of the year. You got 263 days left. It is the 15th Wednesday in the 15th week and the 24th day of spring. 70 days until summer. Moving right along. Today is National Hamster Day. Hamster Day is on April 12th every year, and it's dedicated to those cute little rodents who are among the favorite pets here in the United States. Yes, hamsters are adorable and easy to raise. All you need is love for animals and the dedication to ensure that all pets' needs are met. I've had a couple hamsters in my day. Also had a rabbit too. He just died. Bums me out. All right, let's see what else April 12th has given us. The Union Jack is adopted as the national flag of England and Scotland. This was a significant moment in British history as it represents the official union of the two countries. And no, Ireland is not part of it, but Northern Ireland is. 1776, North Carolina becomes the first colony to instruct its delegates to vote for independence from Great Britain. This was a crucial moment in the American Revolution as it signaled a growing desire for independence among the colonies. 1861, the American Civil War begins with the firing on Fort Sumter in South Carolina. This was a pivotal moment in American history as it marked the beginning of a long and bloody conflict that would reshape the nation. 1934, the strongest dust storm in U.S. history sweeps across the Great Plains, creating the infamous Dust Bowl. This natural disaster had a significant impact on the agricultural industry and the environment, leading to major changes in farming practices and land management. The Dust Bowl of the 1930s was one of the most severe environmental disasters in American history. It was a period of severe drought, wind, and dust storms that affected the Great Plains region of the United States. The dust storms were so severe that they created a huge cloud of dust that blocked out the sun and turned day into night and covered everything in sight. My favorite documentary creator, I guess it's a documentarian, Ken Burns. He did this whole thing. It's 4 hours on the Dust Bowl. It was amazing. Some of the interviews they did, they said they just couldn't. Dust was on everything. You close the windows, cover the drapes. No matter what, you had to clean off your dishes every single night just to eat dinner. That's just a minor inconvenience as to what else was going on, but that's how bad it was. This dust just stayed in the air and got on everything. The Dust Bowl caused widespread crop failures, economic hardships, and forced many people to leave their homes in search of better living conditions. This was caused by a combination of natural and human factors. The Great Plains region of the United States was already a semi-arid region, but poor farming practices and severe drought created a perfect storm. The farmers in the region had been using the same land for decades, and continuous plowing and cultivating of the land led to soil erosion and depletion. Then the drought hit in the early 1930s and the land was unable to retain moisture, and the topsoil began to blow away. The dust storms began in 1934 and they continued for several years. The storms were caused by strong winds that lifted the dry topsoil into the air, creating massive clouds of dust. The dust storms were so severe that they covered entire cities and towns, forcing people to stay indoors to avoid the choking dust. The storms also caused respiratory problems, eye infections, and other health issues for the people that were exposed to the dust. As the widespread crop failures began to pile up, so did food shortages and economic hardships. Many farmers were forced to abandon their farms and homes in search for work in other parts of the country. The migration of people from the Great Plains to other parts of the country became known as the Okie Migration. It was the largest immigration in American history. The government responded to the crisis with several programs designed to alleviate the suffering of the people affected by the Dust Bowl. The Civilian Conservation Corps, or CCC, was established to provide jobs to unemployed young men, and the Works Progress Administration was created to provide employment for adults. The government also provided aid to farmers in the form of loans and subsidies to help them recover from the effects of the drought. If you ever get a chance, watch the Ken Burns documentary. It's worth watching. 4 hours, but it's still worth it. 1945, President Franklin D. Roosevelt dies in office and Vice President Harry S. Truman is sworn in as the 33rd President of the United States. This was a significant moment in American history as Truman would go on to make several major decisions during his presidency, including the use of atomic bombs against Japan. Now, this could have been the deep dive, but we did it last year. 1981, the first launch of the Space Shuttle Columbia takes place. This was a significant moment in space exploration as the Space Shuttle would go on to make numerous missions into space over the next few decades. 1992, Euro Disney, now known as Disneyland Paris, opens in France. This was the first Disney theme park to open in Europe and had a significant impact on the entertainment industry of this region. 2015, Freddie Gray dies from injuries sustained while in police custody in Baltimore, Maryland, sparking protests and riots in the city. The event brought renewed attention to the issue of police brutality and racial inequality in the U.S. Premiered on April 12th, 2005, Deadliest Catch. I love this show. I probably watch it for 3-4 seasons religiously, and it's been like 20 now. Crazy. This is a reality show about the dangers and perils of capturing Alaskan king crab. The show spawned a spin-off called Deadliest Catch Dungeon Cove, which I've never watched just because I think the title is stupid. Anyway, the show launched a video game called Deadliest Catch, Seas of Fury, and the show also spawned 5 different books as of 2017. Born on April 12, 1947, David Letterman. He became a late-night TV sensation in the early 80s. At first, his show was during the day, and then they moved him to night, and he started his show called NBC's Late Night with David Letterman, and later hosted The Late Show with David Letterman. In 2014, he announced that he would retire from The Late Show in 2015, and he did. He has a pretty smart show on Netflix now, and it's just called My Next Guest Is, and then he interviews someone. An extensive interview, too. It takes up a whole episode, like 45 minutes to an hour. He worked as a weatherman for AM radio station WNTS and anchored on Indianapolis television station WLWI. He registered for the Vietnam draft, but his number was actually 346 out of 366. Basically, they're working their way up, so he never got called. His production company called Worldwide Pants, I don't know how they got that name, I think it's very interesting though. They did a few sitcoms and a few other talk shows like Craig Ferguson. But one of my all-time favorite shows was just called Ed. Great sitcom. It starred Julie Bowman. She was in there with Ed, this guy Tom Cavanaugh. The show evolves around this guy named Ed, who is a lawyer in New York, comes home one day from work, catches his wife with the mailman or something, divorces her and moves back to his hometown of Stuckyville, where he practices law out of an office at a bowling alley that he bought. And he tries to win back Julie Bowman, whose name is Carol Bessie in the show. Cute show. It's nice. It's pleasant. It's family fun. Died on April 12, 1981, Joe Louis, widely regarded as one of the best boxers of all time. He compiled a career record of 66 wins and only 3 losses, and reigned as the world heavyweight champion from 1937 to 1949. Before fame, he attended Bronson Vocational School, where he learned the trade of cabinet making before beginning his boxing career. He won 25 of his title defense fights during his career, setting a long-standing record. Over the years, drugs took their toll on Joe Louis. In 1969, he was hospitalized after collapsing on a New York City street. He had a few strokes and some different heart ailments, and Louis died of cardiac arrest at Desert Springs Hospital near Las Vegas on April 12, 1981, just hours after his last public appearance, viewing the Larry Holmes and Trevor Berbick heavyweight championship fight. Ronald Reagan waived the eligibility rules for burial at Arlington National Cemetery, and Louis was buried with full military honors on April 21, 1981. His funeral was paid for in part by former competitor Max Schmeling, who acted as a pallbearer. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.